Europe that nobody wants to belong to, but it still exists geographically. So I come from there, and I'm a Serbian traveler. Yeah, there can be that expression. Anyway, like I'm here, so I can tell you a bit more about my last overland journey from Serbia to China, which is my longest journey that I did outside of my house. I mean, the longest time that I stayed outside of my house. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, what I wanted to say. Well, I would like to share some few ideas about independent traveling and how you can do it and how everybody can do it, something like that. I'm not really a great speaker, public speaker, so I might jump from thing to thing occasionally. But I hope I'll make some point or something. Yeah. Anyway, how I started traveling in independent way. I guess I always had it in me, just I didn't really have time to realize for that because I was busy doing some other stuff or being curious about some other things in life that I wanted to discover. So I think my first independent trip I made at the age of 7 when I disappeared from my parents and I stole my neighbor and I ran out somewhere and police were searching for us. And I guess that inspired me later, many years later, to do something on my own, like this trip, for example. Anyway, maybe I should tell something about me, or I should show something about me. Well, that's me, actually designed by Tajik Photoshop worker when I applied for a visa for China. Yeah, it doesn't really represent me because I was in much worse shape, so they just did the Photoshop work. So well, I can look like that actually, with a suit if they are. Anyway, I wanted to say that ever since I become a Couchsurfing member, do you know what is Couchsurfing?
Yes.
Some of you know. How many percent? 70%?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I shouldn't talk much about Couchsurfing. I should just start talking that after I discovered Couchsurfing in the beginning of 2008, it inspired me. I created a profile and it inspired me to do something. To do some independent trips that I wanted to do before, but I just didn't have as much tools or didn't have as much time because before that I was busy going to high school and working another job, and started studying, then working more, then anyway, at some point when I discovered Couchsurfing, I said, okay, it's time to do something different. So I started by going around, meeting my neighbors and their neighbors and their neighbors, and I traveled mostly by car and mostly by myself. So I just made my own trips. I don't know, and it just kept me going, and I traveled for days, and then more for months, and then whenever I was going back home, I hosted a bunch of people. And then going again, traveling again, and so that's how I discovered most of Europe in these 3 years, mostly by doing my own trips by car and driving around Europe, driving around Russia, and I don't know, these kind of places. Now, people that usually ask me most is that how can I afford all this traveling? Is first is how I started traveling is because I used to have a job before. I actually did many different kind of jobs. Before I was working in radio stations. Then I worked in TV stations as a TV host, presenting movies. And since I'm a big movie fan, it inspired me to start selling movies because I wanted to connect to more people and talk about the movies. Anyway, however, it became a job much better than I was thinking it will be. So I became a pirate, and I was a pirate until I was expired, and it is when people discovered the internet at the end of 2007, something like that. So I had some savings, and that's how I travel. I traveled for 3 years until I spent almost everything. And after I spent everything, I continued traveling. Actually, just I started finding like different ways of traveling, like for example, hitchhiking. And the funny thing is, I didn't really think about hitchhiking that much before because I pretty much enjoyed driving until I went to Cuba. I went to Cuba like in 2010, and I started hitchhiking. And it was going so easy, but it wouldn't be that easy if police didn't help me. Actually, like police, whenever they see somebody hitchhiking, they just stop the car and they order them to take the guy. So it was kind of helpful and inspiring for me to continue hitchhiking and discover how can I hitchhike like much easier. So I came back to Europe, and after Frankfurt, like when I landed, I had to go like to Belgium. So I need to figure it out like how to hitchhike. And I found a bit of help with a website called Hitchwiki, which maybe some of you know about it. The ones who don't know about it, it's I don't know. It's a website for travelers who are mostly traveling by hitchhiking, and the site gives you like good navigation, like directions, like how to go and where to go and stuff. And I don't know, give you some good tips about hitchhiking. Anyway. Many of you think it might not be easy to hitchhike. You know, like you might just stand like this somewhere in the road or something, and like you stand like this for hours. That's because you're standing like this. You should stand like that or something. Like if you're smiling and if you're showing like some interest to your drivers, if you find a place where they can like slow down and see your smile or jump or something like they might get interested to know you, you know. And then like they might be curious, like what are you doing there or something, you know. People are curious, so you just need to give them something to be curious about or something. Or just catch them at the toll gate where they can stop and they can like hear you talking, like so you have like 5 seconds to explain yourself, like why do they want you to go into your car, you know. So you need to give them like a really good reason in these 5 seconds or something like, hey, I'm going to get oh no, or something. I mean, try not to. I mean, it's not that difficult actually once you get it. So I've been traveling around by hitchhiking for some time.
And can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
What's your best hitchhike pickup line? The most
My
successful
best
one.
hitchhike pickup line is like I cannot remember. Well, maybe I don't know. Like I usually smile at people and I ask them like, sorry, where are you going? And they say like, we are going there. I say, wow, I'm also going there. Can you pick me up? Like it's a coincidence. Like I'm standing here like, oh, so
What's my friend's birthday party? Oh, me too!
yeah. Maybe. I mean, it's not the best line, but yeah, it usually works. So yeah, it depends. So I've been like hitchhiking around. I've been coming back home and hosting a bunch of people. So even if I was not traveling, I was traveling in a way because I was hearing like many different and amazing stories from about 200 people that I hosted, and that inspired me to do something different. In the meantime, I need to get a capital. I need to earn money somehow. So I found a job. Okay, like this is my like going around like Europe for like 3-4 years or something. Yeah, this is me trying to look like Che Guevara in Cuba, and this is me on my job. I found a job as a hotel manager in Latvia, in a mostly like lonely hotel. Okay, if it's not a weekend, so this was my like evenings, like drinking wine with myself, enjoying. Anyway, it was kind of interesting job because like I had like so many crazy stories. I mean, even like the quietest place can have like amazing stories if you meet people. I mean, you can always meet people if you just like get into the people's lives and if you get into that. stuff. Anyway, I found this job thanks to the couchsurfing because I found the owner of the hotel and I wrote to him, hey, can I come and work in your hotel? And he said like, okay, come. So I came. And I've been a manager for a couple of months. And then I went back through Belarus, going to Ukraine. When I went to Belarus, I was arrested and interrogated. I mean, it was the end of interrogation. It might look funny now, but they interrogated me for the whole night, thinking that I'm some sort of a spy or something, or I don't know. Anyway, it was really interesting experience. At the end, like they made me write like I love Belarusian border officers on my own language. And after that, I continued to Ukraine, and I stayed a bit longer in Ukraine because I discovered I can work as a taxi driver with my own car, because I went before with my car like to Latvia, and I was coming to Ukraine. So I discovered that everybody who has a car is a potential taxi driver because people tend to stop regular cars instead of taxis. So I just like stayed for a month and had a very interesting experience, like being a taxi driver to random people who told me like different stories and stuff. And after my experience of a taxi driver, I came back to Serbia. And, yeah, I came back to Serbia and I decided to go to China because my friend suggested, hey, let's go to China and teach English. It's quite easy to find a job. I said, okay, yeah, why not? Yeah, sounds like an idea. Just at that time, I didn't have idea that I will go like all the way like through all these places in Central Asia and Afghanistan and stuff, and like that at some point I will just end up waiting the whole day on a highway somewhere. Like I mean, this is the highway, right? They call it highway. Somewhere in Tajikistan, where there is sometimes 1 or 2 cars per day, sometimes 0. So like, but yeah, it was much more interesting than taking a plane, of course. And it was a challenge, and I'm actually glad that I decided to do overland trip. Anyway, I still didn't get to this point, but in short, like yeah, I started this trip